glad you could stop by today. I've got my little doggies with me. Are you alright, Zippy? Today I'm going to be talking about grief, because I had my last bereavement counselling session yesterday, and I just wanted to tell you how I've got on personally, but also I'm hoping that this could help somebody else if I am so open about how I've been feeling. I've only done a few vlogs about this because obviously it is very personal, and I've never really been one to give such personal detail on any social media. But actually for something like this is something that every single person goes through or has to go through. And has to is the awful word, isn't it? Because we do. It's life. So it's my Mickey Mouse cup. Grab yourself a cuppa. I want to sit back and have a chat about what I've learnt, what I think about bereavement counselling, would I advise it for anybody. I just want to talk about all those sort of areas with you. So if you've got time, please stick around. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to write your comments in the section below, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Now, at the moment, I'm fine. As you can see, I haven't cried today. In fact, I've had a few more better days than usual. I started bereavement counselling around about 10 weeks ago. No, it would have been more than that because I had a little bit of time off at Christmas, wouldn't I? Anyway, it was just before Christmas. Now, really, for me, and this is awful, but I know a lot of people will think this, and I'm only being honest, so please don't sort of shoot me. I often thought counselling was a bit of a waste of time. And I used to think it was people that had very kind hearts and were trying to help you, but just spoke a load of mumbo jumbo. So when the doctor said to me, I think you might need bereavement counselling, one of my really good friends, Carrie, actually said to me, I think you're going to need bereavement counselling after about 6 months. I kind of went, yeah, all right. I'm not so sure. But there was a turning point at work, and where I was breaking down a little bit more, and one of my good pals at work actually turned around and said to me, I think it's time that you went to counselling. I went to the doctors, ill again from yet another chest infection, but the chest infections were happening before my dad, and started the bereavement counselling. They got me on quite quickly. By the way, this is a stone that my counsellor has actually given me, Sarah. She's so beautiful. She is so wonderful. And I noticed that things were very strange. I was you know, picking up things and more quickly, and I mean I was doing anyway before, but anxiety, and these are almost like panic attacks, which I've never ever had before. You know, I go on live television, I'm on radio, I go on stage and sing to thousands and thousands of people, and I've never had an issue. I've had nerves, but nothing like this. And I thought, right, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to go for it, which I did. And for the first session, I sort of sat there, and Sarah was so lovely, and she just went, you know, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to try and help you. And she was talking away, and I'm thinking, and I was very honest with her, and I said, listen, if I don't think this is going to work, I won't carry on the 10 sessions. I wasn't being horrible. I just have to be honest. I'm an Aries, and Aries are often sometimes quite blunt and straight to the point, which can hurt people, but at least you know where you stand. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is just a load of mumbo jumbo. And I came away thinking, and then another friend of mine at work who's lost her father said to me, Sally, just stick it out, just stick it out, just stick it out. And I'm going to tell you now, if you have been offered bereavement counselling, go for it. You've got nothing to lose. Unfortunately, the grieving process, you have to go through the pain. You have to do it. There's no other way. You have to face it. And I think that was one thing that I was trying to do when I was trying to run away from it instead of facing it straight on. And if you'd have spoke to me at Christmas, I couldn't have even looked at a picture of my dad. I'm getting a little better, although my brother's put me a DVD together with loads of pictures on, and I still can't bring myself to watch that. But I'm hoping, I need to do it because I need to get through that. I know I don't need to, because Sarah says you don't need to, you don't have to, you mustn't think that you ever need to put yourself under pressure and be stronger. And I know that, but I just feel that I want to for myself. The anxiety for going out has become a lot better. I've started meditating. You know, you probably think that's a load of mumbo jumbo as well, but it's not. It's absolutely awesome. It calms you down. It makes you better as a person. I mean, the year before my father passed anyway, excuse me, it's one of them deluxe teas that I got from TK Maxx, and I absolutely love them. But I don't know what they're just called deluxe, and I don't know how to get another box of them. You know when you go into TK Maxx and you see it, I just love it. That's my last one. When you, I can't remember where I was at now. Let me go back. So I go off in tangents, don't I? And then I don't know where to come back. What I would say to you is go for it. I would go for meditation as well, because I've been one of these that I've always been all over the shop anyway. So of course it was making it worse going grieving for my dad. But the other thing was, I had, the year before, I was a little bit disappointed with some people within my life. And I made some decisions then anyway before my dad passed. And so, this sounds really contradictory. Even though he's passed, I feel like I'm kind of stronger from that year anyway. So these last 2 years have been major for me in my life, for what I'm doing, what I want to do, where I want to go. And it really comes down to family is the most important. Not that I already knew that, but family are so important. I adore them. I have the most magnificent husband that's been through probably hell with me. I know I'm not the easiest to live with. I've got a beautiful son. You know, we've got a lovely home, and I've got a fabulous job. I can't think of anything better. But of course, we have to still go through the bad things, and the bad things has been the car accident, my dad, not being able to resuscitate him. I'm talking about it now and I'm not welling up as much. I'm okay. Obviously my mum having a stroke, having to move her breaking her arms and her nose. I had some more bad news at summer that's incredibly personal, and I'm not strong enough to go through that with you yet. Frankie Jack starting school. Now that seems a bit weird, because you probably think, well, starting school, but I think because of the trauma that I've been through, it almost felt like it was worse. But of course I'm loving it now. It's great, and it gives me that time out. And then of course my mum being poorly in December. But counselling has helped me put things into boxes. So you've got the way that Sarah's taught me is that you've got a healthy box and you've got an unhealthy box. So if you don't feel strong enough in a situation, then, and you think it's going to be unhealthy for you, then you put that into, and this is all in the head obviously, you put that into the unhealthy box, and then whatever you want to do, you put it into your healthy box. And I've had to use that over the last 12 months as well, for things that happen in my life that I think, even though they're nothing to do with my dad, but it's because I don't want to be stuck in that situation and feel unhealthy, and then that brings me on anxiety from my dad, because that's where I believe it completely all stems from. So this rock that Sarah, or marble, I don't know what it is, that Sarah gave me, is basically for me to hold on to. And if I feel anxiety, put my feet on the floor, calm myself down, put all the anxiety into the stone, and I carry it everywhere to make me feel better. And it has actually worked. The unhealthy box has worked as well. I'm thinking about situations, because right, when I say this, I'm going to sound like, oh, aren't I good? But it's so hard for me. I feel I've gone out of my way for so many people in my life. I'm one of those that doesn't have no in my, I do now, that doesn't have no in my vocabulary. And if you know me really well and you've worked with me, you'll know exactly what I said. If somebody says, do you want to come out? Do you want to do this? I never want to let anybody down. I will do it. If you know there's anything special in somebody's life, I will go above and beyond. And I've always done that. I've always done that all throughout my life. And my husband has always said, you're a fool, you're a fool, you're a fool. And I am a fool, because it's almost like I'm that people pleaser that's always got to be thinking about others instead of myself. So I've now become selfish. Can I say that? I've now become selfish because I'm starting to think on situations, if I do that, I'm putting myself out. Would that person do that for me? No. And I know there's two wrongs don't make a right, but I feel like I've lived my whole life doing that, and this is going to be the better way. And for instance, I didn't have, and it was great, I didn't have any anxiety when we went out Valentine's night. That's the first time, although there was a lot of Frankie Jack sort of took that away because he was crying his eyes out. Then I went out for brunch the next day with the girls, and I had the most amazing time, no anxiety. But the girls asked me to go out for drinks, and I didn't want to put myself in that situation. I didn't want to be around bars and clubs. I just didn't want it. And you know what, they were great. I spoke to them, I was open and I was honest. I just said, listen girls, I'm not in the best place still. This has to go on in an unhealthy box. They probably thought I was a right nutter. No, they didn't. They listened to me, and they were so good. And shh, Dolly. And they just said, we totally understand, we totally get it, and you've got to do what's right for you, which I was so pleased about. And that's how friends should be. So how did I feel with my last bereavement counselling? I was really upset, because it's almost as if the only way I can describe it to you is going to see Sarah is almost like, you know, when you've got a phone and you reboot it or restart it, it's almost as if she does that with me every week. So the last couple of weeks I've been having really good weeks, but it's sort of tailed off as it's hit the weekend before I go to bereavement counsel on the Monday. So this might go out, so I had my bereavement counselling last time yesterday, but this might go out tomorrow, if you know what I mean, unless I can get it done for tonight for you. And it's almost like she restarts my computer and helps me work out, this is what you've got to do. You don't have to do this. You must do this. She said, it's not about that. It's about making yourself feel better and making yourself healthier, and being able to work your way through that grief, which is exactly what I've done. But I've had the most lovely poem. See, I feel like I'm doing really well being able to talk to you now. But of course, after my bereavement yesterday, we went on the sculpture trail again. So I'm up near my dad, that's near Pendle Hill. I was able to talk to my brother about it, which made me feel really good. I just got a bit of a quivering lip at the end, but didn't show anybody. So I went, oof, but I managed to talk about a couple of things and have a bit of a laugh, which I think is definitely a step in the right direction. And I feel, sound American, I feel really proud of myself. then I managed to do that. Anyway, there's a lovely woman called Dill Gray. Dill, hello. And she's part of this YouTube family, and she writes in the comment section below. So make yourself known to if she writes in the comments. But she's written the most beautiful poem, and I want to read it to you. Because I think it's gorgeous. Now, tissues at the ready, because it could be quite upsetting if you are thinking about a loved one. So, it's called Losing Someone. The pain does not go away. It is there day by day. It may fade as time goes by, but you will still question why. Why does it happen to the best, not realising it happens to the rest? Why did it have to happen to me? Why, oh why, does it have to be? The love will never ever go, or how you still love them so. You do anything to have them near, the one that you love so very dear. Tears just fall from your hurting eyes when the one you really love dies. The aches you have deep inside, you try so very hard to hide. Hold on to the memory and to the love, and send thoughts to them above. Walk proud and with your head up high, in your heart they did not die. Your love for them will never fade, but how you wish they had stayed. One day together you'll be, then your body will be pain-free. Until the day you meet again, think of them when it starts to rain. Their tears are raining down on you, because you see, they miss you too. And I know that would be my dad. I know that would be my dad. I know that would set me off. Oh, come on. Tissue paper, or should I say bog roll? Oh. Don't do grief alone. You can't do grief alone. You have to reach out. You have to get help. And that's the way that you will come through it. If you don't, the only way I can describe it is that it will fester inside you and could make you poorly. So please, loved ones, family, anybody that will sit down and listen, go to the doctors. If they're offering you counselling, go for it. If there's a support group and you feel strong enough, go to it. You know, it could be somebody else that helps you through that you could end up meeting and becoming very good friends with. This is the hardest, most difficult part of life. We all have to go through it, but you don't have to go through it alone. I am going to have 2 more sessions. I've asked for 2 more sessions. That was my last 2 in the 10, but they're going to help me just before the anniversary and just after the anniversary, just to see how I'm going on. You learn to live with it. It grows around you, and the grief is still there, but your life, the way I picture it, will grow bigger. The only way I can describe for me is that it can be a very, very, very sunny day outside, but yet I still have a grey cloud over my head and it's still raining. But hopefully it will turn to just spitting, and then that grey cloud will part. My dad got through it with losing his parents. Many people have got through it and gone on to live a full life, and that's exactly what I've got to do. I do believe my days are getting better, but I want you to know that you are not alone. And so many people go through this. I wanted to let you know how I got on. I hope you don't mind. But I want you to know that I do feel a little bit better. But it is going to take time. You have bad days. It's like a roller coaster, isn't it? Anyway, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. I can't thank you how much you've helped me as well. Your words, your comments, Dill's poem, just so lovely of you all, and thank you so much for all your support. You have helped me through, although I'm not totally through yet, but you have helped me through all this as well, and I can't thank you enough for your support. I love you lots and lots. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and oh, my scar is going to run, is it? And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.